Hey, welcome to another edition of iFanboy Mini, the shorter version of the longer comic book discussion show iFanboy. I'm Ron Richards, and I'm here today with your book of the month. It's July. It's my turn to pick the book of the month. And as I was reading all the various graphic novels and trade paperbacks I picked up through the month of June, I settled on the one book that really rocked my world, and that was the Starman Omnibus Volume 1. For those who are not familiar with Starman, it was a series that was published in the 90s, written by James Robinson. The art was mostly done by Tony Harris. There was a couple of fill-in artists here and there. And it focused on a new generation of the character of Starman. Starman was a character that existed in the golden age of superheroes within the DC universe. It's the guy with the fin on his head with the star and the rod. And James Robinson is a writer who really has a reverence for the history of DC Comics and their golden age heroes, as evidenced by the work that he did in the book The Golden Age, as well as he helped start the JSA series in the early 2000s. With Starman, what he did was he took the character of Starman and passed the torch on to his son. We get introduced to a guy named Jack Knight, who is the son of the first Starman, Ted Knight, and he is not really your typical hero type. It's the reluctant hero. We've seen the reluctant hero been written about before, but never before have I seen it been executed this well. Jack Knight doesn't really care for heroing. He doesn't want to wear a costume, so he wears a leather jacket and a t-shirt and goggles. He's kind of a counterculture, almost hero type. But what's interesting is that he takes on his father's mantle. He helps save his city of Opal City. And then he continues to be Starman, but he keeps his day job, and he tries to keep his life in check while this world of superheroing envelops around him. It's really kind of an interesting take on the superhero kind of paradigm, and like I said, it grabbed me, and I couldn't put this book down. The Omnibus is a new format from DC. It's hardcover. It's not oversized like the Absolutes or the Omnibuses for over at Marvel, but it is very comprehensive. This contains 17 issues, starting with issue 0 through issue 16 of Starman, and they're going to be publishing the rest of them to get the entire run in these nice kind of library edition hardcover versions. The art by Tony Harris, who you might enjoy currently on Ex Machina, is really interesting to look at. Tony Harris is an artist who has really refined kind of a photo referencing style with Ex Machina. Here, this is more sketchy, it's more comic book-like, it's a lot more dynamic, and it's interesting to see how he's evolved over the past 10, 15 years in his art from Starman through a book like Ex Machina. So if you haven't read Starman, if you're a fan of DC, you really should pick it up. If you're not a fan of DC, but you're a fan of general kind of reluctant heroes and kind of offbeat superhero stories, Starman is one that you should check out. I wish I was reading it when it came out back in 1994, but I was young and stupid, so what did I know? But now I have the opportunity to read it again in these great hardcover editions. I mean, look at it, it's beautiful. So if you want to check out my full review of Starman, you can head over to ifanboy.com, where the review of the book of the month is there on the top of the page, and you can check out all my long-winded thoughts about Starman and how much I just love this book. I can't wait for Volume 2, so be sure to look for it. You can pick it up at Amazon or In Stock Trades or any other online retailer or your local comic book store. And be sure to check out revision3.com/iFanboy, where you can check out our longer show that comes out every Wednesday, as well as iFanboy Mini throughout the week. So definitely check it out. I love this book.